Hey fellas, what is going on? What's happening? What's happening? Y'all come on out from under my tree. Come on, before you mess up my berries. Welcome, 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 family. Thank you for joining me today with the AN-T-NEES Honky Tonk Chronicles. I'm Sandy 7. And I wanted to bring you out here today to show you my sambucas. My sambucas, better known as the elderberry, the elderberry tree or bush, whichever you want to call it. And this version here that you see, or the variety that you see me standing in front of here, is the American version. Go, go Chucky, go, go. And typically grows wild here in North America. And when you go to the drugstore to get the Sambuca's cough syrup, that's typically where that cough syrup is derived from. And that's exactly what I intend to do with these elderberries that I'm growing here. I plan to make some syrup and some juice with it. So I thought that it would be good if I get on out here now. It's about mid-July. Stop it, boys. You know, they want to be in this film too. Stop it, stop it, stop it. And get out here and harvest these berries before the critters get them. And they are about ready. Yep, about ready. So I'm going to go on and harvest those that are more darker in color, and I'm going to bring you in a little closer to see them. And we'll get some of these harvested, take them inside, wash them up, and get them dehydrated. And I'll show you that process as well. Okay, but yeah, we're going to get these elderberries harvested and then get them dried up and have them ready for me to make syrups and juices, especially when the fall comes in, because this is one of the most powerful medicines that nature produces, particularly for respiratory infections and so forth. Lots of people use this to help with coughs, to help with expelling mucus out of the body when you have a cold, okay? So definitely go and do a little bit of research on the medicinal value that the elderberry bush has, okay? So we're going to come on in a little closer, get you on in here, and show you my harvesting of these berries. And then we'll go inside and get them washed up and throw them in the dehydrator for a while, okay? Let's do this. All right, so let me bring you on in. And this is what we really want, is those clusters that are mainly the dark color, like what I'm showing you here. You're going to have some that aren't quite all the way ready yet, like this one. It's got a few green on there. We won't, harvest those, but those that are right beside it, we'll go ahead and get those harvested. So I'm going to go on and cut one of these clusters just to show you how I harvest them. So this is a good one. We'll go ahead and get that one cut. So I just cut the stem off. And you can see they dark, juicy berries, which the birds would love to feast on. So we want to get some before they take them all. So we'll take that one. Let's see which else. What else we got? Yep. This has a little bit of green on it, but we'll take it too. Get that one out of there. And I try to be as delicate as I can with pulling them away because they will pop off, and I want to try to save as many of my berries as I can, because I love making the cough syrup from them and sharing it with my family. You know, because that time of the year will be upon us before we know it. We are already mid-July, and we have got to get ourselves ready for that fall weather and everything that comes with it. All right, what else we got here? Go ahead and get these taken care of. Yep. And as I stated, you can find these elderberries here growing wild alongside a road, especially well out into the countryside. They grow wild. As a matter of fact, this one that I have right here was gifted to me by a coworker about 10 years ago. And this thing is massive. I'm going to try to give you guys a good shot of it to see the whole bush, how big it is. But when I first got it, when he gave it to me, it might have been in a little 1-gallon pot. And in a matter of about, I put it in the ground, and in the matter of about a month or two, it was 3 times that size. And it just kept growing and growing and growing and getting humongous. And like I told you, this thing is huge. I'm going to try and get a shot for you, back it up a little bit to kind of give you some kind of reference of how big this thing really is. You see, I'm still backing up. And it doubles almost in size every year. No, Chucky. No. Look at him. He over there trying to get my berries. No, Mr. Chuckster. That's Mr. Chuckster, y'all. Look at him. Yeah, I'm talking about you. Say hi. Say hi to the people. Hey, Chuckster. And Mr. Hachi. They have to be out here with me, y'all. All up in it. They got to be a part of it, but that's okay. They're my boys. But yeah, so just giving you some kind of gauge of how big this thing is. And I'm walking around to the other side of it. And it just continues to get more massive each year. And what's happening is there are approximately 3 trees up in this little island that I have it sitting in all to itself. And you see these little nodes or knobs that's running along the stem of the branch. Those propagate more bushes every year. I don't care how dry they are. Like this one is really dried out. I cut them off, throw them on the ground, and it grows another tree. Just that simple. So if you have one of these and someone is looking to, just put an elderberry bush in their yard, they don't have to go and buy these things. They grow anywhere, and so easy to grow. So I am here to share with my family and friends that are near me that may want one. I'll give them one of those branches, let them stick it in the ground, and I promise you it will produce an elderberry tree. And again, they are one of nature's most powerful medicines growing in the wild. So I'm going to go ahead, finish up harvesting the berries that I want to pull off of here, and then I'll take you inside to show you how I get them washed up and put into the dehydrator for drying. And then once they're dry, I will then store them and have them ready for when I'm, you know, deciding to go ahead and make my syrups and my juices from them, okay? All right. There you go. Another medicine in the yard that grows wild. All right, so we are back with our harvest. And as you can see, this is what I've brought in. So the next thing that I'm going to do is pull all of these berries off of the green stems, like so. It's going to take a minute for me to do, but that is the next process, is to get those pulled off the stems. And I'll just drop them in this same pan and then discard the stems. And then once I've pulled all of them off of the stems, I'll then give them a good wash and strain them and get them ready to go into the dehydrator. But like I stated, this process that I'm doing right here typically takes me a minute, but I get them all off. I take my time and get them off because I want to be careful not to crush the berry. So I gently pull them off of the stem. Okay. So we're going to go through and take all of the ones that are on the stems in here off. And once I've done that, I'm going to bring you back and show you how I give them a quick wash up and then put them into the dehydrator to dry. All right? So hang in there with me. I'm going to bring you back once all of this has been completed with pulling them off of the stems. All right, I'll be right back. Okay, so I am done with removing the berries off of the stems. And you can see, there we got it. Just berries. Now, every now and then you may see one that's green or whatever. We don't want the green. We're really looking for the dark colored berries. So we'll discard those as we see them. But now it's time to get these washed up. All right. So I'm just going to give them a quick little rinse a couple of times. And as you rinse, you can see there's all kinds of stuff floating up to the top, like this kind of craziness right here. You just want to skim that off. And anything that isn't part of the berries. So we're just going to wash those up real good and strain them into our, through our strainer. But yeah, you get some goofiness that comes up when you start to wash them out. Okay. But get those washed up good. And I didn't do a heavy harvest this time. I just want to do a real quick one to get my berries going. I've got plenty more out there on the bush that I'll be harvesting over time. It's like mid-July already, believe it or not. And that's pretty much the time when your berries start to be ready or ripen and ready to be pulled off of the bush. So I just wanted to take you guys out there and show you a quick way that I go out and harvest my elderberries and get them ready to be preserved. Okay, so I think that's going to do it. Let me go ahead and get my strainer and get these berries strained out. All right. Get those poured in there. All right, get that poured in there like so. And I'm probably going to dump them back into this bowl one more time for another just quick rinse. Okay, let's get that. Like I said, I do that probably about twice to get them rinsed off real good. Yeah. All right, one more rinse. Okay. Give them one more good little rinse, and then we'll strain them again. And that's going to be our last rinse here. Let's get them poured in there. There we go. All right, that's that part. So what I'm going to do now is just kind of let them sit in this strainer just for a little bit to get as much of the water drained off them as I can before I take you over to the dehydrator and get them layered out over there to sit and dry. Y'all see me still just kind of picking away at little stuff that I'm seeing. Most of it is like little woody stuff, which you're not gonna be able to get all of it because how small it is. And again, there's probably some that are green, aren't quite ripened all the way. If you see those, pull them out. But the thing is, when you cook up your syrup or your juices, make your juices, you don't have to worry about that because this stuff isn't going to go in there. You're just going to use the liquid from cooking it. You're going to strain it anyway, okay? And when I get ready to make my syrup and my juices, I'm going to bring you along on that journey as well to show you how I do that. Also, that won't happen today. Today's video is just, you know, showing you how I go out and harvest them, get them cleaned up, and then the drying process. Okay? So again, I'm going to let these sit just a few more minutes to strain a bit more to get rid of some more of that excess water on them. And then we'll take them over to the dehydrator. All right, we'll be right back with that. Okay, almost there. So I've got my dehydrator lined with just a little bit of parchment paper because the trays have holes that are big enough for the berries. Based on the size they are, they'll fall through. So I've always just kind of lined it with a little bit of parchment paper. I kind of cut it up to fit as best I can for the berries to sit on top of it. Now you will probably have a dehydrator that's a little bit more modern that does not have a tray where the holes are big and the berries can fall through, but I do. So that's what I do to kind of help to keep that from happening. But anyway, berries have strained. And now what we're going to do is just kind of line them up on the tray so that they can dry. And I am going to try and keep these in a single layer. I'll try and keep these in a single layer as much as possible because I don't want them to kind of be stacked up on top of each other so much. This will help them to dry better. So I've got more trays that have been, set up like this one. And I'll get these spread out on the tray and get the heat cranked up. All right, let me go and get my second tray. There we go. And then get the final batch on there. All right, get them spread out as evenly as possible. And yeah, I'll probably have some that fall through the cracks, but that happens to me all the time. No biggie. I just get them off the bottom and keep it moving. All right, so there we go. All set on the dehydrator. And the next thing we want to do is set our temperature gauge to about 135 degrees and get her kicked off and covered. Put my top on, and what you want to do is let them dry all the way, which will take quite a few hours. I usually let mine go for several hours to make sure that they are thoroughly dried. You don't want this grapey, soft, squishy type feel. They need to be hard and crunchy so that they will store well. So we'll leave them there for several hours and check to make sure that they are thoroughly dried, and then I'll show you how I get them jarred up, okay? But this will take a few hours, and we'll come back when they are dry enough to go ahead and get them canned up. Okay guys, so we are on the final piece of the harvesting and cleaning and jarring up our elderberry. Took a little minute to get them dried, but we're here. So as you can see, I'm now carefully taking them off of the parchment paper and getting them placed into the jar. Now I know the route that I've taken to do this seems a little bit more work, but that's the way I do it. Some folks cut down all this time by just straight processing the berries into the syrup or juice. I'm making a mess here. I like to dry mine and have them just readily available for me on the shelf when I'm ready to do my make my syrup or juice. But yeah, that's pretty much it. As you can see, these are really dry, crunchy. As I stated before, you want them really crunchy, not soft, or you know how you can squeeze maybe like a grape or some other type berry. But they are really crunchy, so that means they're totally dry. Okay, I've got another piece of parchment under here to catch those that are falling through the cracks, and then I'll just dump them on over in there. But you get the gist. You get the gist. And I'm going to go ahead and finish jarring up these berries. My jar has been sanitized, sterilized in hot water, and I've ensured that it is dry as well. I didn't want them to go into a wet jar. But yeah, that's pretty much it, y'all. The other thing I don't believe I told you is that not only are the berries great to make, you know, medicines from, the flowers are as well. We'll put a picture up here showing you what the flowers look like. There weren't any on my tree because they had all turned into these beautiful berries. That's the first stage of the elderberry, is the flowering piece, and then the flowers convert into the berries that you saw me harvesting off the tree. Okay? But yeah, that's it, y'all. Once this is all jarred up, I'll put it on the shelf. As you can see, I've got a jar here that is going to be able to hold a whole lot more berries. I just did a small batch this time, and I'll continue to go out there and harvest more and dry them and get them in my jar, okay? But that's going to do it for today. Thank y'all for checking this video out with me. If you haven't, please like and subscribe. Share the video with your family and friends. And as I go along on my little apothecary journey, because I do have me a little shelf that was built specifically for an apothecary purpose. So no, I'm not a herbalist, any type of doctor. Anything that I tell you, I ask that you please consult with your physician first. And this is a learning journey for me. And as I learn, I will bring you along and show you what I've learned. And you can take whatever you can use from the information that I'm providing, okay? But you have a great rest of your day. Thank you so much again for stopping by. This is Sunday 7 with AN-T-NEES. These are the Honky Tonk Chronicles. Peace, and check y'all again later.